Would the person that's supposed to speak next stand up?
We're really going to
Okay.
confuse you because we're both
Go
doing that.
ahead. I'm out.
I'll turn that down so you don't go, "Fuck, drink."
Great. Mr. Atkins, we're glad to have you with us this afternoon, or this evening, excuse me.
I am accepted to be here.
We partly.
Partially agree.
We're glad to have you here, brother.
Please explain the things.
Before I present, I want to make a very strong statement. The blue and gold that you see on my person is Guyan Valley blue and gold. When you get Guyan Valley, when you mix Guyan Valley blue and gold, you get awesome. When you mix Morgantown blue and gold, you get. When you mix Morgantown blue and gold, you get. Well,
Mr. Midkiff, I don't think you stand a chance tonight.
you get smoke and burnt couch. That's what you get. That's right. I'm loving this herd nation here we have tonight. Good evening, Board. Mrs. Lucas, Mr. Midkiff, Mr. O'Donohue. I feel like he's either a central office employee or a member of the board. He's everywhere I look. So.
He is the only thing we just don't pay.
Great to see everyone, and we'll make this as short and sweet and as informative as I possibly can, all wrapped up into one package. Want to first introduce our LSIC members for this school year. Our faculty representatives who are with us tonight, Miss Barb Simpkins and Miss Doris Wilson. Community at large members, I have Dwight Coburn, Randy Quatton, and Jerry Lawson. Mr. Quatton is here with us this evening. I'm actually hoping to get the only reason I asked him to be on here, I was hoping he would give me a free gift card to the Huddle House. Our parent representatives are Mr. Rowdy Baker, Miss Sue Burton, and Mr. Lenny Romans. And as you know, Miss Sue is slated to be hired tonight as a parent educator. She's here with us this evening. Miss Sue. Thrilled to have her coming on board with us. And most importantly, and if you notice, I used a little graphic here, here's where the focus needs to be, our student representatives. And we have a couple of those folks with us tonight. Some of them had ball games and prior obligations. And I would like for Mr. Dylan Atkins and Miss Prue Randall to please stand. These guys, this is our student council, a wonderful group of kids. They are full of great ideas. They attend the school leadership team meetings on Friday mornings, and they keep us on our toes. They have a lot to offer, so we're very proud of them and the people that they are becoming. As you know, you may know, it's public knowledge that Guyan Valley Middle School is a transition school. Not where we want to be. I'm not satisfied with that, but I am pleased because we are definitely making gains and showing growth. We still have some areas to improve on, but we're making our way there. And as a wise lady once told me that any ship can be turned, but you have to turn it a degree at a time. And that's what we're working towards. And a transition school means that the majority of the student subgroups have met the annual academic goals or targets in math and language arts. Also, or that means the school has reached its goals in attendance or graduation rates, student academic growth, student success on West Test 2, and learning gaps between student groups. We will receive some additional support. We know what areas that we need to focus on. I've been in contact with Risa, and of course, central office personnel is always willing to help. And to get to the meat and potatoes of that, the achievement data for Guyan Valley this year is we did not meet our index score. I'm not happy to report that. Close, as you can see, our index score was 47, our target was 48. You know, close but no cigar, right? But again, you know, we're well on our way to doing what we need to do. Reading language arts, big success, 10-point increase from the previous year. We went from 45% overall proficiency to 55% overall proficiency. Ecstatic about those numbers. Not so happy about our math. We did decrease 5 percentage points from the previous year. Understand why? Know that we've got some things that we need to work on. And again, I apologize as the school leader that happened, first to our students and our community and to the board. But we are definitely targeting what we need to target in order to fix this problem. We did meet at least 50% of our targets, according to the new ESEA flexibility waiver. Our attendance rate was 95%. We met the participation rate indicator, and that was 98, and some numbers was the percentage on that as far as our West Test participation. Plans for improvement for math. That's of course our main concern. We do have a Title I math teacher for small group interventions. She is working in the classes. We're moving to more a small group model within the classrooms, or small group instruction model within the classrooms, to where we're seeing, let's say, 3 groups of students doing different things within the classroom, and we have those interventions being targeted right there. We have that extra assistance for those students. Utilizing an SPL approach, and this kind of goes right back to the interventions to serve students with disabilities. Co-teaching, as you know, has been employed in the past. However, it's not been as successful as it should have been, and we're doing what it takes to make things better for students, to make what's right for students. That's kind of the attitude that we're taking. Is middle school, the way that we do things may look a little crazy. Matter of fact, to work in middle school, you have to be a little crazy. It's just a prerequisite. But it doesn't matter as long as we're doing what's right for kids and they're being successful, and that's what we want to worry about. Analyzing IPI data to increase student engagement. Our first IPI we was not able to conduct on the scheduled date, so that's actually scheduled for Thursday to conduct our first IPI walkthrough. And to continue to analyze student achievement data to drive instruction. We look at the West Test. We always look at that data, but more importantly, we look at current data such as the Scholastic Math Inventory and of course in-class assessments to see what we need to do to help our students and what instruction that we need to change. Another problem that we have is we have an achievement gap in reading, language, arts, and math. 2 areas. One is students with disabilities, the other is gender. Our girls are kicking our boys' butts. Dylan, we gotta man up, all right? You're leading the change. Crew, you're doing good. So one of the big things that I'm looking forward to this year is we're implementing a program that we purchased through SIG funding, the Achieve 3000. This is it's a differentiated instruction program, and again, I'm the first to say that the program is only as good as the person who has implemented it. But I'm really excited because this isn't just for one class. This is for all students. And what it does is that let's say that I'm Mr. Roy and I want him to come up here. I've given him a little time for his food to digest. He's eaten about 7 plates since we started. As all of you know, this is Mr. Roy, my assistant principal. And let's say that Mr. Roy and I are teaching a class, and we want to assign you an article, okay? Or we want you to read about, let's see, something relevant to us here, shrimp mining in West Virginia, okay, the debate. And the Achieve 3000 program, what it does, it's a database, and it has all this information, preloaded. So before I assign you an article, you're on my classroom. You go in and you take an initial assessment. It's called a level set, and it sees where you are based on your Lexile level. It gives you a Lexile measurement, and that's equivalent to a grade level. So the good news about it is no matter where you're at, no matter what grade level you're at, when Mr. Roy and I go in and assign you this article to read, it gives it to you at your reading ability or your reading level. So in other words, we're not making students struggle that are reading on a 3rd grade level by giving them 12th grade reading material. They're getting it on a 3rd grade level. It's the same article, but it's given on a 3rd grade level to those reading on a 3rd grade level, or a 12th grade level to those reading on the 12th grade level. So we're hoping that, and we're really excited and believe that, that this will help close that gap just a little bit. You know, we're seeing students struggling with the fact that they can't read, you know, some of them still can't read. Now, I want to stop with that because I don't want this to sound bad, but I want to give kudos to Mr. King and Mrs. Napper and the staff of West Hamlin and Ranger both. We have seen a huge improvement in the readiness of the students that have come to us in the past few years, and we appreciate that a whole lot. But we still know that we have things that we have to work on at school. Again, plans for improvement, analyzing the IPI data. Excuse me.
You finished with me?
You can stand here with me.
You want me to pass something out?
I've already done that. Actually, I want you to chime in on a couple of things here in just a minute. That's why I asked you to come up. Continue to analyze student achievement data to drive instruction. And again, that's got to be ongoing. Every successful school analyzes data. Interventions, as I've already mentioned, attendance, and I want Mr. Roy to elaborate on attendance just a little bit. Some of the things that we've been doing to Mr. Pritchard is here as well, and give my hat off to him for the work that he's doing. But
We've been seeing a real problem with some of our kids who've missed already more than the 5 unexcused absences. And what we're doing initially is having those SAT meetings so that when it comes to the point where we have to take action on those, that we have all those things in place. And we're also, we have an incentive program too to keep those students coming to school. And those who may be on the edge may have a reason to come to school. If their attendance has been bad in the past, then maybe if we do something for those students, make an effort to get to school more often.
And we've got SAT meetings scheduled, doing a lot of different things, you know, focusing on those things that have given us problems in the past. Thank you, sir. Mr. Roy does a lot for me. He does a lot of the day-to-day management and keeps the place going, and I appreciate him a whole lot. He and we go back a long way. From singing in the shower in the football locker room to being principal and assistant. Anybody that played football understands that, right? No, they don't. Parent involvement, no, we don't. Parent involvement, again, we're great. We're very excited to have Miss Sue Burton on board with us this year. Looking for an increase in the amount of parent participation, and so far, already just this short into the school year, we've seen a huge difference, and my hat's off to her. Matter of fact, I want to tell something on her. I hope she doesn't get embarrassed. She's worked since school started, but she's just being hired tonight. And she's volunteered. Of course, you know, we're within policy. She's got all the trainings and shots and records and such that she needs. But she's she's registered. How's that? But you know, she's done a tremendous amount already, and I can't thank her enough for that. She's a very selfless person, and I'm sure that there's not one person sitting here that would disagree with that. And we thank you, Ms. Sue, for all that you do. Plans for sustaining growth, continued use of our READ 180 and System 44 programs, big hits. We had a little glitch at the beginning. We changed our master schedule up and went from double block language arts and math classes to 50-minute periods. The READ 180 program is designed to be on a 90-minute block. So to fix that, we couldn't really change the master schedule. Miss Lisa Chapman actually gave up her lunch. She's taken it a little later in the day so that she can bring those kids back during their Explore time to make that happen for them. And again, I appreciate that very much. Greater focus on reading and content areas in the science and social studies classrooms. Again, you know, through Achieve 3000, through text. Continued focus on writing. Increased focus on parent involvement. Kind of repeated myself there. Working collaboratively, you know, collaboration makes a huge difference. No, I don't think anybody will disagree with that. Finally, positive attitudes, and I borrowed this from our great leader, Mrs. Lucas, who gave our administrators retreat. We had a long talk about positive attitudes, and I told my staff and students both that not always going to like everything that I do as the administrator. Students are not always going to like everything that your teachers do. But you know what? There's one way to make my year go good, and that's no matter what happens, keep smiling and keep a positive attitude. I can come in with a chip on my shoulder and have a very long, very long year, and I don't want that to happen. So we're working on positive attitudes and more smiles. Let's see. Relevant celebrations. We're a recipient of a $2,400 grant from Big Lots. It's always good to get money. No findings in our food service monitoring that we just had. They've said it was perfect. Miss Angie Pritchard was just tore all to pieces about that. And, I told her that we're awesome, so not to worry. We had 2 small findings in our financial audit that just took place a couple of weeks ago, which is a huge improvement. I was very pleased with that. One we knew about, some checks didn't get 2 signatures, and Tara actually made death threats to the people that caused that. But again, nothing major on that. Sustaining many school improvement initiatives after our SIG grant money is gone. Again, through our master schedule, we were able to build in some of the pieces that we have had money to cover in after-school types of things in the past. We are, again, we're able to, it's all about sustainability and making things work even when there's no money there that you're used to. And to the board, I want to say thank you for your support in everything, allowing us to go to professional development opportunities. Any requests that we have, central office staff, very supportive. I think you have a very good team, from the board to the central office staff to the administration of the schools to the teachers and most importantly the students. I think we have a great educational team. Our community, our parents, we can't say thank you enough for all that you're doing. It's a good place to be. We've got problems, we've got challenges, we understand that, but really and truly it's a great place to be because I think we all, when it comes down to it, we're all going to have each other's backs, and we can appreciate that a whole lot. Facilities, I want to say thank you, Mr. Smith. This is a first probably in your tenure. I just want to take time to say thank you. I ain't going to ask for anything. He's used to getting chewed on about things, so I'm going to praise him a little bit here. We getting some new walkways. Our old walkways were very broken, causing some trip hazards, and steps were not where they should have been, and it was a mess. We've got guys over there working on that right now. And one of our old buildings that was out there, just basically an eyesore and a place for bad things to happen where you can't see what's going on. They tore that building down and out of our way. Our old perimeter fencing, the old silver pipe fence that served its purpose 60 years ago when it was put in, it's being removed, getting that out of there. We're working on some trees. We've got some trees that are really pretty, but to the point now that they're going to be tearing up our said new walkways if we don't get them removed. A lot of branches falling out of them, and Dana and I have already talked, and we're working on that, getting somebody to come in and remove those trees. So, thank you, Mr. Smith. You're doing good. I appreciate your help.
Still my thunder, man.
You're doing wonderful work for us, and it's making your school look good. That helps with those positive attitudes. The only request, and this is a strange request, I'm actually making this on behalf of a central office employee because they really don't get this opportunity. But Mr. Pritchard, he's going to need a new office. His has been overtaken, and I think it's due to jealousy. As you can see, I came in the other day. Mr. Midkiff has just taken over Mr. Pritchard's office, and I think it's due to all the Marshall paraphernalia hanging. He just seems attracted to it. So we're going to have to help Mr. Pritchard out. I think he's been removed out of his office. The things you can do when you have a cell phone, right? Wish I had one of those growing up. Any questions?
I'm sorry, Jeff, I didn't know they were gonna beat up on you.
But you're like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna complain.
okay, all right. I'm up to the task.
Any board, anybody have any comments or questions of any type? Anybody? I'm always playing something.
Absolutely.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Betty Bobbitt, one of your staff members, for being our Teacher of the Year.
She's actually
Oh,
West
I'm
Ham.
sorry, West Ham. I congratulate you anyway, Betty. The only excuse I have is where they messed up my script again.
I'll take the blame, Betty.
I'll talk to you later, Mr. King.
Yes, sir. I'm sure you will.
About, over by Pleasant View, that project over there, how's the
Fencing
status of
project,
that?
we finally got our quotes in. Evelyn has those right now. We're getting ready to come back to you here in just a couple of weeks and show you what we've got. I think we're ready to move on that just as soon as we.
Are there any obstacles there or anything, the funding,
I
everything
think
is
we're good on
okay?
funding. Yeah. I think we're ready to go.
Good, good. All right. As far as attendance was concerned there, now, some of the things, obviously, if our kids aren't there, they aren't going to learn.
Right.
And could you kind of reiterate some of those things that you were talking about there?
Well, as you know, the new attendance protocol that we're following this year, again, that's been a concerted effort spearheaded by Mr. Pritchard and probation officers and counselors. There's a SAT process, student assistance team process that those students are going through. If they miss 5 or have 5 or more unexcused absences, once they hit number 5, we actually go ahead and start the student assistance team process. Find out what's going on, what services, what we need to do to make sure that those kids can come to school. Additionally, with the county funding, with student activities money, $1,000 of that is for attendance incentives. And we say it in plain English, those are carrots that we use to get our kids to come to school, and they're effective.
Sometimes you have to use those.
You do.
And Mr. Pritchard, I'm sure, is always on call to help wherever he's needed.
Absolutely, and taking care of it from the court side of it as well. I've nicknamed him Penitentiary Pritchard. But that's those petitions are being taken care of when they need to be taken care of. That's huge for us. I mean, it really is. When parents see that, hey, they mean business, it makes a big difference, and we appreciate that very much.
All right. Anyone have anything else? Ms. Lutz, anything?
Yes. Just want to say thank you for everything that you and your staff and the community, the parents, that are involved in your school. And it's always a treat to go to Guyan Valley. Lots of energy, as you often see. Mr. Anions, and we're never sure what you might tell us when we're there.
I like to keep people in suspense. It's good.
But I so appreciate everything that you all do, and you are moving, and you're making great gains, and utilizing a lot of data, and you, as he says, he doesn't make decisions without data to support, and we just, are very thankful for everything that you guys do.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. I appreciate your support. Any of my LSIC members, do you have anything that you'd like to add? Ms. Wilson, Ms. Simpkins, Mr. Huddlehouse? Gift cards? Gift certificates?
We're going to get to know him better.
That's right. That's right. Dylan, Prue, do you have anything? Mr. Roy? Ms. Sue?
No.
I've said enough, he says. All right, thank you, folks.
All right, thank you. Well, last and certainly not least, when it comes to energy, Mr. King, he ranks right